Hi and welcome to No Garden, No Problem. My name is Sarah and I'm from Schlee, the Waterford Sustainable Living Initiative. And as part of our People and Planet project, we're doing this series on sustainable growing in urban spaces. So if you live in an apartment or a shared space with no garden to speak of, then this series is for you. This video, I'm going to show you how you can make the most of your small space and upcycle some things that you're going to find around your house. This video, it's all about vertical growing. So this is all about using that space that you usually don't think about. So if you've got really limited ground space, this is for you. It basically means you're going up the way as opposed to out the way. A lot of people I talk to when they talk about growing things or gardening, they always say, oh, I don't have enough space, or I couldn't do that, or where would I put the stuff? So this is about how to overcome that. It's about using that up space that you do have and making the most out of it. It's really versatile, you can grow loads of things. And it's about trying and experimenting. So try something. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does work out, it's brilliant. You can grow plants, flowers, salad leaves. Vertical growing can be really budget friendly too, if you're willing to do a little bit of upcycling and some DIY. It reduces your food miles and it helps you upcycle everyday materials. So it's really good for your waste management. Don't worry if you don't have the same stuff that I do. I just want to get you thinking about looking at everyday household items a little bit differently and what you can use them for. And get you thinking about how you can maximise that space that you do actually have and be able to see what it is. I want you to feel like not only can you upcycle some stuff and grow things, but that you can save the planet at the same time by making the best use of those things that you would otherwise get rid of. Vertical growing, it's great. You can buy loads of gadgets if you really want to that cost a bit of money to do this, but really it's not necessary. You can do a lot of this stuff yourself and make them look fantastic. So this is really good if you are trying to reduce your waste, or you're trying to not buy things that are unnecessary, or even if you just want to do something really creative right this second. This video is all about that. Okay, so let's make something together. Get yourself to your recycling bin and grab yourself a 2-litre bottle. Now, I know we're all trying to get rid of these, it's not great for the planet to have them, but we're only human. Sometimes we find ourselves with these. And what better way to use them than turn them into a planter? So that's what we're going to do. Now you can even use milk bottles, just make sure you clean them out. So what you need for this is your 2-litre bottle, scissors, Stanley knife, some twine, compost, some seeds, label and a marker, water and watering can. So to start off, we're going to make a cut into this. We're going to use our Stanley knife to just make a hole along here, like that. And I'm going to make another one just here. Put that away. Do not leave that sticking out. You're going to hurt yourself. I know, because I have. And then you get your scissors out. So we're just going to cut out the top section here, and this is the bit that we're going to plant into. Then you stick your scissors into the hole. And just cut along. And then you cut in this direction as well. That's it. Take out a little section like that. You need to put holes here and here and here and here for the twine to go through so that you can hang it. And then you also need to put holes on the bottom for drainage. I happen to have a wood burner which I'm going to use to do this, but you can just use a scissors to do it as well. So I'm going to put a hole here for the twine and directly underneath this. And same up here. Start with the top one. And I'm also going to put some drainage holes in the bottom. As I said, you can do all this with the scissors, seeing as I have it. So that's loads for some drainage at the bottom. You can go ahead and paint this whatever colour you like, whatever style you like. I'll show you some in a bit that I've done earlier and painted them to make them look pretty. The thing to remember is you can make it look exactly how you want it. For the purpose of the video and because it takes too long for paint to dry, I am just going to string this up to show you how to do it and throw some seeds into it really quickly for you. So the next thing you need is your twine. So depending on how high you want it to hang, cut it to whatever length you want it at. That might be a little bit too much. So just use a little bit less. That looks good to me. Just thread it through your top one and through your bottom one. Now when you have it at the bottom, tie a good knot, 2 or 3 of them into it to make sure that it's nice and secure and it's not going to fall through that hole. If you've used the scissors to do this, the holes might be a little bit too big, so what you might just do is tie the 2 strings at the end here so they're tied underneath. I'll show you how I've done it on another bottle that I use the scissors on. And then the same with the other side. You can neaten it up, a little knot, and tidy up the ends. So that's it, so far, so good. I'm going to throw some potting compost into it now and throw some seeds in. The great thing about using plastic bottles is that when you have them like this, you're almost making a little greenhouse for the seedlings to come up. So they should come up really nice and well, because it'll be nice and warm in there. The thing to remember though, if you use something like this and it's going to be quite warm in there, make sure you keep an eye on it so that it doesn't completely dry out. The smaller the pot and the smaller the amount of soil you have in something, the more often you're going to need to water it. I'm going to do it on the floor. Again, I'm using cut and come again salad leaves because they grow really well kind of anywhere. And in something like this, you're only going to get a small amount of them, so it's no harm to have a good few pots of them around the place. You just need a small few seeds and then scatter them over the area. Now again, I'm just going to cover them with about ½ centimetre soil. That's it, a really simple, quick hanging planter for all of your vertical growing. And don't forget, you can make this look as pretty as you like. So let's go hang this with some of the other stuff that I have. Okay, so I'm just going to hang this up here with some I made earlier. Just leave it up here for the moment. So earlier I said that if you've used the scissors, the holes might be a little bit too big. So to make sure that it's nice and secure and it doesn't fall through the bottom, just tie it underneath with a little knot as well. So you can have them hanging singly like this and paint them whatever colour you like. Or you can do what I did here with some milk bottles, and I did a trio of them. You just make sure to tie knots equidistant from the one below it and then below it, so each bottle sits on those knots. And you can plant it up with whatever you like. So in this one I have lovely primroses. In this I've cut and come again salad leaves, which have already started to come on up. Tulip bulbs that were starting to grow on their own. It's a bit of an experiment, but that's what it's all about. So another thing that's really good for vertical growing are pallets. They are so good and they've already been treated so they last really well outside. And what's really great about them is they take up virtually no floor space. So they just take up this much. It's really narrow, but it goes right the way up. You can get these if you go into a store or shops and ask them for pallets. Often they'll have them go and spare, and you can usually get them for nothing or for very cheap. So that's what I use this for. Now I did this last year and I just went a bit mad with the outdoor paint, but again, remember, you can paint it whatever way you want it. I wanted a little bit of colour, but if you wanted to just be really neat, you could do it like a nice matte black. You can really do whatever you like with it. I also got a little bit lazy and I just went and I sourced pots that fitted into the gaps. So these guys, we grow a lot of stuff here, we get a lot of plants, so we have a lot of pots hanging around. And that's a really good tip for you. If you know somebody who's into gardening or has a lot of plants and you don't have any pots, ask them. More than likely they'll be delighted to give them to you and to get rid of them. So I just got some pots that fitted in, planted them up with lovely strawberry plants and popped them in. It's so easy, it was really simple, and you get a really good bounty of them. And what's great about strawberries is they'll just trail over the side and grow. As you can see, they're only starting to come on now. If you really want to do this properly, you can go to the garden centre and get something called weed membrane stuff. This is a weed membrane. You can get it for really cheap in most DIY or gardening shops. So what you do with this when you're making one of these is you just cut a length of it to size. So you measure out about this depth, about 4 times that, and cut it to the length as well. So basically what you're doing is you're creating a trough in here with this Mitex. And what you do then is you just get a staple gun and you staple it in so it's nice and secure. Okay, so that's basically the basics of vertical growing. I just wanted to show you all of the different things that you can use. Get yourselves thinking about looking at household items or everyday things that you see and how you might use them a little bit differently. Start to think about that upward space as being something not just blank, but that you can make really pretty and have great things growing in it. It's really easy, it's really simple, and it can be quite addictive. It's super creative too. You can have so much fun painting things, honestly. Okay, so other things that you can use to vertically grow stuff on are things, if you have a cement wall like this, a nail and a hook like that work really well. So I just planted this up, got the pot, put some pots in it, and I have a nail and hook here, and all I did was I used the bar from the back of this and slotted it down like that. And I have something growing on the wall. Really easy, cheap as chips. You can also get things like this, which are outdoor hooks that just stick onto a wall. Now you need to check what kind of wall you have to use them, but they're really, really handy. And again, you just hook things on. So you can hook it on if it's got any kind of little bar like that, or a little handle like that. You can even use twine, so you could hang those bottles from those hooks using twine. And I hear you ask me, well, I don't have a balcony, I don't have a wall, I don't have a space outside. That's okay. You can vertically plant inside your house as well. More hooks like these that stick onto your wall and come off without damaging the paint are really handy. And it's actually really good for your kitchen. So if you don't have a windowsill in your kitchen, but you have a little wall beside your window, you can put up one of those hooks on the side of it and put up your little basil or your coriander plants that you'd use in the kitchen. Get a little bucket like this and just hang it on the wall from that hook. Then you have all of your herbs not taking up any space and going up your wall. Vertical planting inside. Brilliant. Any questions? Just leave them in the comments section. You can check out the links below to the other videos in this series, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a mil.